Good day, grade 12 learners. Welcome to today's business studies lesson. My name is Tidi Sotlaka, and we will be looking into your human rights, inclusivity, and environmental issues. So we will be focusing on inclusivity and your environmental issues, but the focus is largely on application questions to say, how should you go about with your application questions? Now, we have the first application question, which requires us to read the scenario below and answer questions that follow. So let us start by reading that scenario, then we will look into questions after. We have El Sabe Printers. El Sabe Printers employs more males than females, and their building does not have facilities for people who use wheelchairs. Now, that is your scenario over there. Now, the question requires the following from you. The first question says to us, identify two diversity issues affecting El Sabe printers in the scenario above. Motivate your answer by quoting from the scenario. That is the first question. Then, the second question says to you, explain two ways in which El Sabe printers should deal with each of the diversity issues identified in the above question. Now, let us understand the scenario to say, what does it require from us? It requires us to identify the diversity issues affecting the business. So the first diversity issue here is that the business employs more males than females. So it means they are failing to deal with a particular diversity issue. And then another one is that their building does not have facilities for people who use wheelchairs. So this is another aspect that the business is failing to deal with. Hence, the second question says to us, explain two ways in which now El Sabe printers should deal with each of the diversity issues identified in the question above. Now, let us go about now trying to answer this question. So you have the two diversity issues that are needed. So immediately when you see the issue saying now they are employing more males than females, it talks to one diversity issue, which is gender. Then the other one is saying now their building does not have facilities for people who use wheelchairs. So that one talks to disability as a diversity issue. So therefore, you are expected now to what? Identify the diversity issues first, which is the first one is gender. And how do you motivate that? You quote to say now, El Sabe printers employ more males than females. That is one. Then you go to another diversity issue, which talks to now their building does not have facilities for people who use wheelchairs. So the diversity issue there is disability. Now, how do you quote to motivate there? You say now their building does not have facilities for people who use wheelchair. Now, That is how you code for the second one. Now let us look into question 2. What does it require from us? Explain 2 ways in which Elsabe printers should deal with the issues, because Elsabe has failed to deal with the issues over there. Now, the first one, gender. How can a business deal? So you're basically explaining to Elsabe, you're basically an advisor on diversity issues. So you'd say to them, Elsabe, the first issue is that you are failing to deal with gender because you are hiring more males than females. So this is what you are supposed to do as a business. You are supposed to make sure that males and females should be offered equal employment opportunities in your working environment. We should see equality of the genders to show that you are including, because diversity is about including them. That is one. Number 2, business directors within. So directors of Elsabe, keep this in mind. You're advising them or you're explaining to them to say, because you are failing, this is what you should know, that if in your director position you only have females or you only have males, you are doing it wrong. You should make sure that when you promote both men and women in managerial position. That is one. Now, you also explain to them, how do you deal with disability? This is how you should take it. This is how you should understand it. You are an expert and you will be helping businesses on how to deal with such matters. So, disability, to say, because your environment does not accommodate people with disabilities, this is how you should deal with the matter. Ensure that you employ people with disabilities and they should be treated fairly in the workplace. That is one. So make sure that they are treated fairly in the workplace, and the business should provide employment opportunities for people who are physically challenged. And they should also create the facilities such as ramps for people to be able to be accommodated, especially people with disabilities. So you are advising to say, how can you deal? Because in this scenario, the business has failed to deal with such diversity issues. So keep that in mind when you answer this question, to say, you are a helper here. You should help. Show them the right way to do things. Show them the right way to include employees in the workplace regarding diversity issues. So that is how you should go about it, hoping it made sense. So now let us take now a short break and we will continue with the other 2 activities after.